Different from the normal ups and downs that everyone goes through, the symptoms of bipolar disorder are severe. They can result in damaged relationships, poor job or school performance, and even suicide. They can result in damaged relationships, damaged relationships.
The inside of my brain, I feel this pain I have never. I just thought I would check in with people that see, like, know or following, like, the D.I.D front kind of story, backstory, front story, real story behind, like, who we are. Explanito. First of all, I'm assuming, or not assuming, but I know people are seeing, like, we're coming from, like, every direction of the internet. Like, 1 minute, and the internet, every direction on the internet, and of the internet as well. Okay, that's, first of all, very complicated. The first thing one needs to understand, or we need to explain, is there's a lot of different individuals inside one body. We're talking from like 6-year-olds, 5-year-olds even. A lot of the babies stay around 5 to 30 and even maybe 40-year-olds, like male and female. However, males, luckily, we're really very, very lucky. Like, wow. The men are so good, like, look, but you have a vagina. Like, it works out, and we're lucky, trying to figure out ways to fix just normal issues with a male entity within a female body. It's crazy, but we do okay. That's crazy. But it's crazy because, not because it's an insanity or it's something wrong, a faulty disposition. It's crazy because it's brilliance. Like, some of this stuff isn't even healthy in some ways, I guess, but it works for us. And sometimes what works for us is what works for us. So it seems like there's 50 million things going on. We got like a rap song over here in freestyle mode, which is incredible, and that's Error. But she's the finished product. That's something, that's someone I want to analyze at some point when I figure out that I'm not her. When I figure out that I'm not her. And then there's still over here with Pain and a bunch of geeks, like a lot of hacker style, like, technology stuff. And then over here, there's like the graffiti artists. And there's some very major hardcore graffiti artists. I'm sure Toast is getting involved in graffiti. And then, of course, there's Killer and Lethal. And then there's the older ones like me, LeeLee. Like, I do paint. And then LeeLee gets involved. Like, the last brush painting we did, I know LeeLee was very involved in that. Like, so many of us. That's the problem. One body, 18 million people. Like, I don't even know how large our system is, but to be honest, like, in one, I don't know, I don't want to envy anyone with a small system, but wow, it's like, because it's always like, oh, there's so many more quantums, which quantum, that's our system name, is quantum, and it's quantum? It's quantum. It's quantum? It's very complicated, like, wow, okay. And then I have this other theory. I'm like hearing them like blaming it on me, not blaming it on me, we'll take it. We don't know. It's even things like that, like theories. We have to agree to tick on or to supersede or to give back theories within our one conversation. It's like so many people want to know us, the body, and I don't mean sexually, just like this individual fucking rules. And it's like, but Error rules. And is it Error? Because LeeLee does poetry and industrial, and Lee does too. Like, very strangely, 3 major things happened at the age of 15, and this was it. Lee, we've gone back and found, like, all the amount of anger in that fucking teenager, who's very real and very adult, but the anger in Lee is huge. It's massive, just fury. Like, when that anger comes out, it's Lee. Lee is an angry individual. But Lee, wow, what is there to not say about Lee? An incredible, like, just such a hardcore And a lot of us are hardcore. That's the thing. It's like, okay, but you guys are just like not running around rocking the goth scene. Like, you guys are like rappers and graffiti artists and this look and the way you style your hair and you're a model and you model for yourself and you write books and what the fuck are you? Like, okay, well, on one hand I can say, well, a woman of many things, you know, but that would be the traditional response that we would give. But on the other hand, it's a bunch of people doing, like, multitasking because, like, it couldn't be done anyway. Scarily. People say, what do you run away to? Are you a workaholic? Yeah, I would say we are a workaholic. And the reality is this, like, we escape. Uses coping skills. Ta-de-ta, you know. A few different things. One is hip-hop in general. It's a coping skill, you know. Everything from graffiti to DJing to rapping itself and spoken poetry, even, which the history behind Lee and spoken poetry and even our D.I.D results is scary fucking shit. Like, please sit there and talk to me one more long minute, you know? And it's never long enough. No shrink has time for a case or individual or a group of individuals like us, and it's frustrating. Like, okay, first example of really walking into the fucking psychologist's office and being like someone totally different was very recently. And this was the situation. I know people know bulimia is something we've suffered with. We found out biologically that we have to biologically things. Yeah, we found out biologically that our body is diabetic. We need to eat. We have to eat on time. We have to eat a lot of food to maintain our weight, which we like kind of enjoy to be a more larger woman. Like, feeling too small is exactly that. But that's good. Like, if you feel too small, then that's actually not bad. But all of that then runs into this very simple thing, which is body dysmorphic disorder. Okay, so suddenly we, quote unquote, are triggered by just the size of our wrists, fingers, more bony, etc. 50, 60, 50 pounds, 60, 50, yeah, good 50 to 60 pounds, depending on the scale, depending on the doctor's office. We lost. And go into the therapist, psychotherapist, who wants to talk about, like, something huge, like the system and how it's created, versus us, and we're suddenly in there, and it's, I'm talking Lee and Killer and everybody who usually goes to shrinkotherapy, sleep overnight, are just like falling asleep in class as usual, you know? And it's like, well, we're triggered and they're falling asleep in class as usual, and the shrink like kicks us out, like, wow, do you need to be inpatient? And why are you falling asleep in class? Well, one, it's early. Like, we don't do mornings at all. Like, if we do, it's like on the mic with a cup of fucking coffee. Like, most of us are like, we can't base our mornings on shit. Like, not that we're useless. Sometimes we're most productive in the morning, but like eating a big breakfast, whatever, is important, you know. So anyway, suddenly we're triggered, you know, with like eating disorder stuff, and like, there are so many of us, like, this one has this issue, and this one has this issue. And not issue, like, I mean, like, imagine the contents of a jar, okay? And imagine that jar being one headmate. And then imagine that that's what they deal with. So it's in that jar. So you can fit a bunch of words in that. That's what they deal with. And then imagine being 10 jars, 20 jars, 30 jars, up to 50 jars. And we usually stop at 52 because definitely a deck of cards is who we feel like. But shit, now they are artistic, or she is, or is it even really again? My quality or my reality is never to question or have anybody question what is real. What scares me is that people will throw back in my face in real life. You know, in real life and imaginarily, as we say. But in real life, TDN is real. Feelings are real. Anger is real. Well, throw back in my face. Well, now you're making me question my reality. Are you D.I.D? Listen, motherfuckers, I've had so many fights and so many whatevers with different psychiatrists over my life, which I can see, you can see there's a switch in individuals right there. Like, it happened. And I saw it. Like, I watch it. You know, and I know you see that. But over my life, like, it's been years and years of, do you guys, like, know why I'm even, like, so involved in this book about Sybil? Like, what the fuck? This is the bottom line, guys. We found proof. Okay? It's not good. Sexual inappropriateness was a part of my family. Like, I lived in the basement. We lived in the basement. That was the thing. It was like, there's no creepy basement, you know? And it's like, that's great, princess. Well, at least it wasn't a creep. No, that was the thing, though. The whole house was the creepy basement, Jay. Like, that was it. It's like, even split to where the filth feeling within half the house, or half even, was like, they built another house onto it. I mean, the strange conspiracy-ness in my growing up and my raising it. Trust me, this conspiracy stuff, raising conspiracy, it's to keep us in an air of paranoia. Like, our family, my father, which I probably shouldn't talk about, but shit, we're all getting old and everybody dies soon, kept us in a state of paranoia. Was he paranoid, or are we supposed to be paranoid? Like, jeez. If there's anyone that's less afraid of cameras being in my house, it's me. And that's weird, because my dad was always, like, freaked out about things like, why does she connect her computer to the telephone and log on to these strange things called BBSs? And then you go again, you're like, okay, was that a change in headmates? We call respectfully. Okay, but it will be like, in 2 or 3 minutes, you'll see someone completely different if we go down that road. Like, talking about BBSs for like 3 hours, and why the fuck won't hackers talk to each other? We try very hard to separate things, and we try very hard to, like, bounce off of each other when we need to. Now, take care for its, like, existence. Instance. There's a huge backstory with Air, which we're still trying to therapize. But to be honest, you know, Air and Jill have always been kind of a partnership, you know. The technology thing, it's goes between them, back and forth within them, and it's like just a thing, you know. I can't guarantee in one piece that more than one of us will come out. However, are we better at it than we've ever been? Fuck yeah. Let me tell you, it was easier in the past to just, like, disappear, get the F out of whoever's house I was in, however's place we were in, we, and just dip out and, like, go do something completely different. And that often, like, just contained thinking or whatever. I think skepticism and people just making shit up, like, it's getting complicated. Okay, so we're, like, super duper famous, but not, you know, and apparently incredibly difficult to approach. Probably because we're telling people off, like, all the time over realistic things. Like, people have expectations, and it's like, none of us need to be micromanaged at all. And it's very strange for the first time in 6 years, 5 or 6 years, we're entering the real world again, using the real name, which is a fake identity, which we stole back from ourselves, which is an incredibly stoic, incredibly, it's just an incredible story. But I'm not sure if anyone, like, has ever heard any of that. Like, it's crazy. Like, our jail story. Nobody wants that. Nobody has the balls, cojones, like, reasonability to come up to us and say, so that jail story, it sounds like you're ready to talk about it. You know? D.I.D, let's have a conversation. Like, as far as conversation is concerned, we are not scary individuals. Like, conversation, totally dope, but phone culture syndrome, that just syndrome alone is like, the internet. Let's all live separate lives and talk to each other through video. Now I'm getting that. I'm starting to like get it, and it's gonna get bad because I'm just like directly talking to people, but then they want to hate and not like talk back. It's fucking bizarre. Like, dude, call me on Skype, directly speak with me, and stop being like phone ring. Anyway, you can watch it in 2 parts. Usually better that way. But yeah, the phone rang and I just was like, fuck, and everything stopped, and then the iPad's ringing, and it's nice. It's great to build like this strange transitional monster between like, and I saw you see that, like even the word transitional, cues, identifying cues, like a lot of this stuff, it's affraiding. It's affraiding. Like, it's affraiding. Yeah. It's like the button pusher probably would say. Cool. Oi. You know, and one of the things, talents or things we're learning is actually to pick up each other's talents, which is kind of incredible. Like, wow, okay, so like, you do this. Yeah. Okay, well, can we like swap off information, which is great, but it's cool just like leave this girl inside her freaking own prison with all of her headmates so that she then corresponds or co-responds, yeah, to only herself. Not cool. You know, society is society. However, I know, and I know this just by knowing people, it's probably easier just to watch me on internet TV. And that's sad. If that's what you want to do, then do it, you know. Go strange people. But the reality is this, like, I'm like thinking, how do I even wrap up something I haven't even begun? But yeah, no. I mean, I'm not accusing anyone at this point of thinking that we're fake. It took a lot of years for us to even realize what kind of real we wanted to be real. But yeah, we're capable of many things. Like, it's scary knowing that killer just wants to take that number 2 pencil and do a giant piece with the number 2 pencil and have it videotaped. And it's strange when the snapback hitch is that like Lethal can't stand behind her with the camera and record it. And it's weird the problems we try and solve. Like, okay, for the first time in our lives, we have an active and like current and well-used calendar. And like literally sometimes things get scheduled 3 or 4 times. But with the advents, there you go again. But those are just like normal, like top fronters, like people that are usually just up front. Like with the advent of technology, we can keep up with ourselves in levels that we never could. Like, okay, we'll take a bunch of photographs of things that need to be remembered. And we do that. Like, should we have a things to be remembered, like, folder? Or, you know, it's Y and Z, whatever. But, yeah, I wouldn't hack into my Flickr account. It'd be kind of bizarre, but I'm sure now someone will. That's why Jill always gets laid. See, that's why Jill's the one that always gets laid. But, yeah, truthfully, like, we're struggling, you know? This is reaching out. Hi, my name is Lee. Hi, my name is LeeLee. My name is Princess LeeLee. Queen LeeLee. Godmother. Teo. Like, all the fallen angel. There's so many of us, and those are just the ones you know. You know? It's scary. We sit here, and I know, like, what we need to ideally do is spend 2 or 3 hours just having therapy with Ish and other self-helpers. I wouldn't say Ish's, though. Than us, and that's a lot. It's a lot of work for us to do, and we're gonna spend our lives doing that. It's I wish good things. Like, stop. It's like I can feel like people that don't exist but really exist, like beating my head in. Why not this? Why not this? Why is it me? Why is it me? And like, it's like, that's great, but back to phone culture syndrome. Pick up the phone. Like, people don't want to confront me, and I understand that. People don't want to confront us, and I understand that. Why? Well, you know, you may have walked out of, like, 2 felonies, but to be honest, is that it? But you're talking shit, You know, it's very strange, but that's fame. Once again, closing doors and knowing that the whole world is waiting on us is probably one of the most legit things that Jeezy's ever said as usual. And what's so beautiful is, and I'll end it on this note, just update as usual. You know, welcome to the world. And some real shit. Anyway, much love from all of us. If you need anything, write. Like, don't be worried about writing us an email. Like, send us a note. Like, say hi. You know, we accept and love to be heard from. I love to hear from people. A chat module may be made at some point on our website or something. I don't know. But yeah, like, there's ways to get in touch with us. Always. It just seems like we're just one big human computer, which we are. Yeah, but if you look at a system, it's technology, or technologically, it makes sense that we're both a system and a system. Core issues, though, childhood. Anyway, next time on D.I.D. Revelations, and go NOP. Love you guys. Bye.
Different from the normal ups and downs that everyone goes through, the symptoms of bipolar disorder are severe. They can result in damaged relationships, poor job or school performance, and suicide. They can result in damaged relationships,
The inside of my brain, I feel this pain I have never